Well, namaste, namaskar, everyone. We're up on the rooftop here of the team hotel again. I've found some company. The legend, the iconic former Nepal international, Sharad Vesawkar, my great friend, has agreed to join me to run through not just tonight but the series. Not going to dwell too much on tonight, but firstly, good evening to you. What a week it's been.
Good evening. I mean, it's been a pleasure once again after a long time, actually after 2 years maybe, but it was a lot of fun.
It really has been a lot of fun. I've managed to find a cup of tea. I couldn't persuade Sharad into a cup of peppermint tea. He's gone water. It's kind of been that sort of cheers to an amazing week. Let's run through tonight to start with. Very disappointing performance. I felt as though we're going to talk a little bit about team selection in a moment. We'll just give you a run through the game first. Nepal losing the toss again, although Rohit Paudel said he wanted to bat first. Posted only 122. Probably a little bit unlucky to lose Kushal Bertel in the way that he was given out, probably caught off the forearm. He made 39. He was the top run scorer. Nobody else really got going, even Kushal Malla, who was promoted up the order to counteract that threat of Akhil Hussain. So they had a left-hand right-hand combination to open the batting. Nepal could only muster 122. I think Ian Bishop was being very generous in saying that, well, maybe they might be able to make a game of it on a pitch that was turning, but the second innings was maybe even more disappointing than the first for Nepal. Great credit to Raymond Simmons, who I thought bowled exceptionally well. I suspect the Lumbini Lions would love to get him back for the MPL with his career best of 4 for 15. And then the two left-handers at the top, despite the occasional moment of difficulty, particularly against Kushal Bertel and Sampal Kamya, bowled pretty well. 74 for Amir Jangu, that came in very good time, and 41 for Akimo Geist, who actually looked the better of the two for the majority of that opening partnership. Gave the West Indies a 10-wicket win. First time the West Indies have ever won a T20I by 10 wickets. The first time Nepal have ever lost a T20I by 10 wickets. They were probably a few of the things Nepal fans were fearing coming into this series. It's taken them 3 games to warm up to it, but the West Indies simply too good for Nepal tonight.
Absolutely, and yeah, they were really struggling in the first 2 games, but it was good to see some new players standing up for West Indies. A new squad. That's what you expect from a full member nation, and really today they came back really hard against Nepal.
Yeah, they really did. Raymond Simmons, I thought, was the pick of the attack, but keep your eye on Jediah Blades. I think not only is he a cool name, Paul Radley called it one of the coolest names in world cricket, but I think he will play a lot across formats. He's actually going to the test squad that will take on India in a couple of days' time as well. Amir Jangu, very good 74. He accelerated really well with 6 sixes. But I want to talk about Nepal's performance. Obviously, a lot of people will be keen to hear your thoughts. Let's talk about tonight first. We'll get to all the positives and all the brilliance of the first 2 games, but they were miles under par tonight. How can there be such a difference in their performance today as opposed to 24 hours earlier?
Well, as you know, we had 3 changes first of all, which was like a different thinking by the team management. Probably they wanted to give them a go before the qualifiers, but you can see it both ways. I mean, why change a winning combination against a West Indies side? In the other hand, before the qualifiers, maybe they wanted to try out some new players so that they can have backup players if in case someone gets injured. So yeah, overall it's I think it's a brilliant series for Nepal.
No doubt it was a brilliant series, but a very disappointing night. Just to touch on those changes to the 11 a little bit, surprisingly, the player of the match yesterday, Asif Sheikh, left out. Dipender Singh Airi, the vice-captain, as well, and also Lalit Rajbanshi, who actually bowled really well, a little bit of the unsung hero yesterday. That over to Jason Holder in particular was nothing short of sensational. They said none of them were injury related. It was all rest and rotation and trying to get the squad prepared for that crucial qualifier that'll start in 8 days' time in Muscat. I'm playing devil's advocate a bit here, and obviously understand why they did it, but you don't get to play full members altogether too often. Very few associates do. Would you not say you always want to play your best 11? And when you leave out Dipender Singh Airi, because he does so many things and he brings such an intensity to the game in the field, you're almost leaving out 2 players there.
Yeah, very true. There's a lot in stake actually. We discussed this off air as well, Lenny. If you win 3-0, it makes a big statement against a full member nation, and worldwide you get recognized, and also the ranking comes into place. So yeah, I mean, the way they lost the game also, it'll make them hurt a little bit before they go to the qualifiers for sure.
We'll talk about the qualifiers a little bit later on. The big surprise for me, even if they were to lose tonight, it was the manner in which they lost the drop catches. I think there was one maybe second sort of half chance, but then there was misfields and fumbles. Was it a little element of that, the 2 games in 2 days? You can probably see us. I'm still sweating. I don't know what time it is now. It's getting close to midnight. The humidity today, they said it was 65%, but it was ludicrously sweaty. There was no dew either. The play consistently had to stop because there was too much sweat from the players onto the ball. It was ridiculous at points.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot more than the previous 2 days, and you could see even experienced players like Holder were struggling out there in the field. They had slippery hands because of that sweat. So yeah, it was not easy conditions out there, but I think players managed it well, and there will be a lapse of fielding here and there, but overall I think fielding was one area that stood out in this series. I think from both of the teams actually. West Indies also took a lot of good catches out there in the outfield.
Yeah, they certainly improved tonight. I thought the West Indies were exceptional. They really deserved their consolation victory, and they showed that whilst, even though they're missing plenty of players, there's so much talent in the Caribbean as always. Want to touch on Cricket West Indies. We've seen Nepal's social media. I don't think it's down to me saying we should thank Cricket West Indies, but we've seen it being echoed right the way across cricket social media, general social media from Nepal, and I think it's such a lovely thing to see those tributes being paid to the men from the Caribbean, the players, the coaches, the administrators too, for making this series happen. There was no sort of mocking or belittling of the opposition. Every Nepal fan just wants to pay tribute to all of the players and say thank you for coming.
Absolutely. I mean, I felt so happy, like looking that kind of sporting culture coming up, thanking the opponents, being grateful to them, and that's the kind of culture that has to be coming up in Nepal now. Like rather than supporting your own team, they are like thanking the opponents for giving us a series. That was so nice to see.
And that's what the spirit of cricket is all about. I'm not sure actually Sharad has seen this yet, and I'm not going to edit this video, so you're going to have to go and look for it, but I will show you something here. I thought the photo that my good friend Subhash Humangain took for the Hamro Khelkud, who he works for. Hopefully this will load here. Let's get you framed up a bit better. Come with me, Sharad. There you are. I'm just pulling this photo up on my laptop in front of me. How beautiful was this? Jason Holder, at the end of 20 overs of having his name chanted again and again and again by the Nepal fans, giving his playing cap to a young Nepalese fan. How special is that?
Wow, that's I had not seen that picture, so I'm really I'm getting chills over here. So yeah, it's such a nice gesture. He's been a legend of the game for West Indies, and I'm sure this kid will be so inspired and he'll take up this game in the future maybe for Nepal.
I will give that a retweet. I'll find a way to post that. It's the most beautiful photo, and you talk about statesman-like behaviour. Ian Bishop, who was so wholesome in his praise of Rohit Powell, and rightly so in his leadership. Jason Holder, even though he's not the captain of the West Indies, this squad, he is nothing but a leader for whatever side he plays for, and that big man has taken more T20 wickets than anyone in this calendar year. Okay, I've got a few other things I'd love us to talk about, Sharad, and really appreciate you joining us. And also, we'll touch on this a bit more at the end. This man's just started a YouTube channel. Get in there, tune in, subscribe, click all the buttons, like them all. And what's even better, a lot of it, I've watched quite a few of them, most of it's in Nepali. I don't understand it, but you will. So tune in now.
Yeah, that's
subscribe.
Why, I mean, you were representing us in English, so I thought why not give it a go in Nepali to, represent our home country in Nepali language.
This is off the cuff now. Give me, I speak a little bit of Nepali. Give me something I can learn. I'm going to remember very quickly off the cuff. So I tonight I said at the toast, Namaskar Sabalai. So that was a very kind of respectful good evening, everyone. Give me something else. What else have I got? I want more than just tiks.
Repeat after me.
Okay, I'm going to repeat after you.
Ma timilai
Maya
garchu.
Garchu. Ma timilai Maya Garchu.
That means I love you all.
Ah! Well, it's true. It is. You stitched me up a wee bit there. Matililai ma garchu.
Matililai Maya garchu.
Matililai Maya garchu and namaste. Okay, good. I'm going to remember that one. Got to find someday to say that too properly, all the way. Okay, what are we on to next? We've spoken about, I suppose, the thanks for Cricket West Indies. Let's get on to the series as a whole. Probably about halfway through. We're going to try and do 20 minutes together here. I think if you had offered, I know some of us predicted wins for Nepal, others would have thought it wouldn't have been possible. But if you had been offered a 2-1 series win, whatever the manner of defeat in the third game at the start of the week, you would have taken it. And this, you cannot take away from how historic, how important and how famous a week it has been, not just for cricket in Nepal, but for the associate game as a whole.
See, coming from an associate nation, when you think of West Indies, you think about their performances in the 80s, like we watched growing up, all those legends playing against Kapil Dev, Tendulkar. Even I saw Ian Bishop bowling, so Tendulkar out, who was my inspiration. So, I was a little starstruck today while sitting beside him.
He was a little starstruck all 3 days.
Yes, I'll be honest with you. I was really I don't know what's going on. I was not myself in this series. So, yeah.
We're going to talk more about Bish later. I'll be honest, the first bus journey I've worked with Bish a little bit, 3 or 4 times. Carlos, I've worked with a lot. And the first bus journey on the ground, the first day of any series, new commentary team, it's always a bit like a first day at school. But I promise you, the 3 Nepali guys we had here, they were so nervous, and you were loving every minute. It was amazing, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's bound to happen. We have grown up watching them, so sitting in the same van and traveling together. But the good thing is you made us comfortable.
I tried.
Yeah, you introduced us to them, and it was so nice of you. Yeah, slowly we went on, got into the groove.
I'll promise you something as well. You genuinely won't meet 2 nicer guys on the circuit as well. For his stature as a human, Ian Bishop is as humble and as kind as they come. We'll talk more about him later. But the series as a whole, to win it 2-1, the magnitude of that, can you kind of capture some of the feedback from back home and I suppose particularly within the month that it has been for Nepal in terms of domestically, politically, with the Gen Z protests and the concern that everyone still has for the nation. We're all hoping for a brighter future, and I know that so many people who watch these kind of things are so young and they have a big impact on that future for the country, but there's been so much going on. It's been a whirlwind of a September.
Absolutely. You mentioned it, Lenny, the last month has been so much emotional for every one of us back home, and to get this kind of happiness from the cricket team, winning a series against the mighty West Indian squad, whichever squad they were playing against, they brought in, but winning a 2-1 series against them is like a dream come true, to be honest. Well, I had predicted a bit with you before the series, but it's not easy. You saw the quality of them tonight, yeah, so truly. So, actually, we have to give credit to Nepal team. They played really good cricket in the first 2 games.
In a funny way, tonight's performance actually probably from the West Indies shows just how good Nepal had to be in their first 2 games. You'll tend to see, for any associate to beat a full member, most things need to go right. They need to be playing up towards a 9, maybe even a 10 out of 10 of their abilities. They probably played to a 9 on that first day. They played to a 10 on the second. That's why they were 90-run victors. Tonight, my only disappointment was they were miles off. They were a 2 or a 3 out of 10 for where they can be at, in my opinion. And even though they tried as much as they could, maybe the 2 games in 2 days and the humidity was too much. But it was kind of surreal, as it often is in a series. They were crowned champions at the end. They were a bit deflated though because of the fact they'd lost tonight, but still they'll have that silverware, and you saw all of the dignitaries around them as well. It was hugely important, those celebrations.
Exactly. Well, the last game they would, as Rohit said in the toss as well, they would like to end it in a higher note. But that's how cricket is, you cannot, you can just go out there, give your 100% and try your best. And that's what Nepal team goes out on the field and give their 100% every time. But yeah, today was not their day, obviously. But yeah, this is a concerning sign, Lenny. When things are going tough, then how do you come back in the game? You cannot just go through the motions. You need to find a way to come back, and there's the all-important qualifier coming up. So yeah.
We'll talk more about the qualifier in a second, but I suppose one of the great points Sharad is making there, that it's easy to be good when things are going good, and at times tonight with the bat, when the going got tough, Nepal kind of crumbled a little bit, and similarly with the ball in the field. There was some poor bowling tonight, but we don't want to focus on the negatives, we want to focus on the positives. And in terms of the series as a whole, your standout performers for me, Kushal Bertel was exceptional in all 3 disciplines, was unlucky tonight, could well have got a really big score, made 39 with the bat, but his bowling continues to have that bit of mystery and provide plenty of wickets. His fielding is seeming to excel. I thought Dipender Singh Airi was really good, Rohit Paudel, Asif Sheikh too.
Yeah, absolutely. Kushal was, normally you would expect him to come good with the bat, but this time it was in the field and with the ball. that he'll carry that confidence in his batting too in the coming series, and he got a good knock today of 39 runs. Unfortunately, he was given out. Yes, also to mention about Sandeep Johra, who came off a very good form in the Nepal A series, and he had a very good game yesterday. I mean, the way he batted yesterday in that pressure situation when wickets were falling down, came and counter-attacked, and the shots he played was like he was so clear in his mind. Was good to see, and I believe that stability that was required in the middle order, somehow I think he has proved a point that he can play well, and he'll definitely, I feel, contribute in the qualifiers.
He hit a big six tonight as well. Of course, Mohamed Adil Alam is the one name we haven't mentioned within all of that, and just to even get him back on the park, I think in this series in any capacity was going to be a big boost. But to get those 4 wickets yesterday, pick up a couple of runs as well between the 2 knocks that he played, I think his promise and his potential, we probably won't see it necessarily this year, but in the kind of years to come, he'll get back to his best after what's been a nightmare period, 3 years out of the game.
Well, yeah, he has potential. We are he's been brought in here because he did well in the A series in Assam. So we had seen some footages where he was really hitting well in the death overs. So even if he can play 60% as well as he did in Assam, I think it will be good enough to help the team bring the run rate up in the last death overs for sure.
Yeah, and the importance of that A tour down to India was really shown up in spades with those performances of Johra and Adil Alam here. Okay, just a little tribute to the Cannes staff, the guys with the badge on our chest there, for them to host this series so effectively, so well, away from home, whilst that TU ground continues to be completed in its reconstruction. Can't explain how much I'm looking forward to seeing that. But to Paris Kadka, to Chadar Bahadur Chand, to Binod Das, there's so many names I'm going to forget here. Prabal, Depesh, Sajan even, all the media team, Ramandai the manager, an incredible effort to run a series. I think, okay, maybe a few teething problems on the opening night, but absolutely effectively and really without any hiccups. It was overall a huge success, this inaugural Unity Cup.
Absolutely. I mean, hosting a series itself in Nepal, it's a challenging thing. Coming over here in Sharjah and bringing the whole team over here and organizing such a big tournament in a smooth manner, I mean, hats off to them.
Absolutely, they deserve huge credit, and I know they will be straight back to the grindstone now because the Nepal Premier League Season 2 is not altogether too far away. Remember those dates for your diary, November 17th through to December 13th. A couple of final topics to talk about. I want to ask you about your experience with Ian Bishop. I know we touched on it a bit there, but his stature, he kind of made the week in a funny way, didn't he? Carlos, great to have him here as well. I know he couldn't be here for the final game. He's back. He's gone to India for the Women's World Cup. But just having Ian around, his generosity towards all of us was exceptional.
Exactly. I mean, he's one of the best in the world, to be honest. And the way he goes about his work, I was really grateful, and I felt I was very lucky to be here this time to just watch how he does things, how prepared he was before coming to a game, all those things. And even Carlos Brathwaite, just watched him hit those 2 strokes and this is the first time I bumped into him, and it was surreal. I mean, it's not really sunk in at the moment.
I can promise you that the preparation that Ian Bishop does is just exceptional. He knows everything, so much background about so many of the players, the stories that he tells, and then he's very happy to hear more information from all of us to help him further on a country like Nepal, who he's become hugely fond of. I know 2 years ago he's really taken by them in the qualifier. He, like many, will become fans of Nepal thanks to this week. The broadcast itself was exceptional. The team that the TPT group put together for that was really, really good. So we hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We know from all your comments that you certainly have. Let's have a look ahead to the qualifier. That'll be probably the last major topic we'll touch upon. It's a pretty quick turnaround. I believe Nepal fly tomorrow. I've got to stay here now for the Afghanistan-Bangladesh series. That's next on my roster, but absolutely be keeping an eye on what will happen in Muscat. It's an interesting format, isn't it? Because it's going to be 3 groups of 3. We've got Group A with Malaysia, Qatar and the UAE, then Group B, which Nepal will be in, Japan, Kuwait. You'd expect them to get through that because there's 2 qualifiers. Group C will have Oman, Papua New Guinea and Samoa. I think that's the group of death, with Samoa looking like a very strong side. They might get through. Then from that initial group, you'll carry your points through against the side you qualify with. Then you'll play 4 other games against the 2 other qualifiers from other groups. Altogether then you'll be left with 5 results that will make up the Super 6 table. There's a lot of permutations. It's a lot of cricket to be played in a short period, inside 10 days. Is there a reality that Nepal could win a series over the West Indies and not qualify for the World Cup?
I mean, that's why we call cricket a funny game. Anything can happen, and associate cricket how it is, especially in the subcontinent, in this area, the Asian region. All these teams, they can beat any other side in their day. So yeah, I'm not like fully confident, but yes, like with the form Nepal is in right now, they surely should make it. I'm like thoroughly backing my team, to be honest. But it's not going to be an easy walk for sure.
The reality is that they're going to have to play well. They can't go and kind of play the brand of cricket they played tonight, albeit against probably a stronger opposition in the West, much stronger opposition in the West Indies. If they play the way they did this evening, they might struggle. But if they play the way they did 24 hours ago, they could end up winning the whole thing unbeaten.
Yeah, exactly. So the point is they have to be consistent, they have to be very clear, and just go and express themselves, not thinking too much about the result or the qualifiers. Just go game by game and just play their game what they know.
Yeah, the talk we're hearing, we're not certain yet, is that the squad will be announced either tomorrow or the day after. I think the cut-off for the submission date to the ICC is tomorrow, 1 week out. That's for the final squad. It'll be a 15-player squad. So it'll be interesting to see as to exactly what Stuart Law and all the selectors end up going with there. For Muscat, those qualifiers, we've seen them again and again and again. They come with pressure, with huge passion. There is so much on the line. And Nepal now have the experience of having qualified for 2 T20 World Cups. They won't have what they had the last time though, which is the home crowd. It ended up being at the Mulpani, of course, rather than at the TU, where they actually sealed qualification with a domineering win over the UAE, and those incredibly emotional scenes. I barely got over it, and it's nearly 2 years on. Such was the passion that day. But they're going to have to go and play well and get off to a good start. But this has been fantastic preparation at the same time, this Unity Cup.
Yeah, it could be better. I mean, we know it. I mean, the quality side West Indies was, and beating them 2-1 itself is an achievement, but they need to carry that confidence and keep it back at the door, whatever has happened. So it's a very important series. As you said, there will be a lot of pressure. So how they handle the nerves and how they start in the tournament, as you said, it's going to be very important.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see every ball of that live and free as always on ICC TV. We've got one last topic. This one we probably shouldn't even be talking about because we're going to get ahead of ourselves. But sometimes in life it's good to have a bit of a dream. A T20 World Cup in India. I know Sri Lanka's a co-host, but I'm just going to say if Nepal qualify, I think the ICC will put them in India. What would that be like? We saw the scenes in the USA and the Caribbean. Every game you would imagine would be a sellout.
Exactly. I mean, if it's a sellout in the northern part of the globe, what will be in India? You just can't imagine. Already there is a high population living in India, and if it happens in the northern part of India, if we qualify, that is, and the venues are in the northern part of India, I'm sure it will be full jam-packed, and we won't get any tickets left if we need to buy it.
What would your message be to the ICC if you do qualify? You'd say put us up in Dharamsala, put us in Delhi, find us a way to be up there, because every game is going to be like a cup final, a festival you'll never forget.
Yeah, exactly. It has to be around Lucknow, Dharamsala, as you said, Delhi maybe, and Ranchi. Those are the 4 places where Nepalese people are going to flock in.
If Nepal do get there, remember it'll be a 20-team World Cup. We'll find out the 2 Africa qualifiers inside 48 hours. Keep your eyes on Namibia and Zimbabwe there as the favourites, but you never know what could happen because it's just a one-off game in those semi-finals. Any final thoughts on, I suppose, or messages maybe for the Nepal players as they go across? They probably will need maybe 24, 48 hours off just to kind of try and take in what this week has been. This has been a huge step up and a huge step in the right direction for cricket in Nepal, but it's probably taken a bit of an emotional toll, and we saw a bit of that tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And you cannot take things for granted, actually. Whichever opposition you're playing, you could see the difference. I mean, yesterday they won with a big margin of 90 runs, and now they're losing by 10 wickets. So that's how cricket is. You just need to come out and fight hard and believe in your skill set, and give your best, and results will come, So that's what I can say, and probably I would like to pass on this message to all the Nepali cricket fans to pray. Just pray for the team and everything will be taken care of.
Yeah. I'm going to add one little message to that. Stay behind the team, whatever the results are. Absolutely. Whether they win or they lose or they draw. Don't get too high and don't get too low, and stay with them. I'm so proud of you all for all those lovely messages you've sent through to Cricket West Indies and all of the players, because I think that's a lovely sign to see, and hopefully we'll see more full members in the future. So for me, Andrew Leonard, for Sharad Vesawkar, remember, get in, log in and tune in to that YouTube channel that he has set up. You can get in there. I'll leave a link in the top of my profile here. Please follow that, support him. He's an absolute legend. He was brilliant on comms this week. I've loved having you, mate. It's always good to see you, and thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Okay, so it's good night from me. One last thing, can you teach me how do you say good night in Nepali? I don't know.
Shubharatri.
Okay, Shubharati from me.
Shubharatri for me too. Good night.
Shubharati from Sharad. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Keep your eyes tuned. We'll have plenty of coverage coming up with that crucial ICC Men's T20 World Cup qualifier for the Asia and East Asia Pacific region. Can Nepal take one of those 3 spots and make it a back-to-back T20 World Cup and head to India? We'll find out in the next 2 weeks. Please keep staying tuned in, and thanks so much for all the support.